In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear exterior door handle on the rear door of this extended cab Ford Ranger. Let's get started. Let's start by removing the door panel. To do that, we need to remove the seatbelt off of the door so we can have clearance to remove the panel. At the top, you'll see this cover, which if you remove, it'll expose a 15mm mounting nut. Take that off. With that off, you can pull the top of the seatbelt down. And at the bottom, if you move this cover up, you'll see a T50 Torx bolt. Remove that as well. And now it's just a matter of popping the door panel off. There we go. Slide it off. And now with the door panel off, we can come back to the outside, and one of the easiest ways to pop a rivet out is to start by removing the center piece. So take a punch, put it right onto the center, and whack it with a hammer. That should release the pressure that's on it from the other side being crimped down. Okay, that's one. And two. Now get yourself a drill bit and drill this out. The reason for popping out the center was not only to weaken it, but also to give you a spot for the center of the drill bit to sit. That way it's not moving around on the pin that's in the center. If it's an aluminum rivet, it's going to be easy to drill. Now you can pop the door handle off. It can't go too far, but it can go far enough to where we can access these door latch cables. So let's go on the back side and disconnect them. So as you can see, the way this operates is these slide in, and when you pull the door handle, it actuates them on this side, or in the handle itself, but the actual cable sheathing locks into the back side, and that's what we have to start with. So you want to slide this. There's a little lock. Sometimes a pocket screwdriver helps. And you want to slide this piece. It's hard to get to. To unlock this piece right here, has to slide out this way. Just squeeze in on the ends. And once you squeeze in on both sides here, kind of pinch the two ends together, you should be able to slide it out. There we go. I squeezed and pried out at the same time. Okay, so there's one. I'll have to do the same to this upper one over here. Looks like this one slid out, no problem. All right, there's the second one. Doesn't have to come all the way out. And now what you want to do is push the cable in to the door handle, and then from this side, it's going to be difficult, but basically you can see right there where it locks in. You have to swing the cable outward and pop it down. Okay, that one just popped off. And now once you get that one off, it's a lot easier to maneuver the cable for the lower one. So basically, now you can see what's happening a little bit better. You have to pull the cable out and down, just like that. Pop it out. All right, before we move on, we need to make sure that the rest of these rivets come out of the door, and you can do this a couple different ways. You can either continue drilling, just make sure you don't damage the paint. There we go. All right, that one popped off. It fell inside the door, but that's fine. To prevent this from rusting, because there's a little bit of bare metal, I'm going to put some grease on the back side and on the front side here. And when I put the rivets in, I will also put some grease on those so that it clamps it with grease on there. Otherwise, you'll have a rust spot developing here, and it'll spread and basically just rot out this entire area. Now, on the new handle, you have to put these clips at the halfway position, just like you did earlier when removing the cable. Basically, this unlocks this area so you can slide the cable through. So you need to pinch these two tabs and pull this clip halfway out. It will naturally want to stop at the halfway point. And now you can put this back, make sure it's obviously facing the right way and that the cables go into the proper area. So you can't really mix them up because they're not long enough, but you just make sure. So now I'm going to start with the same one that I ended with, and that is this lower one. Pull the cable through, and you're going to want to slide it into its slot, but the cable itself needs to loop up and around. I know it's going to be tricky to get this done. If you want to, you can use a pick to help you out to kind of grab onto the cable and slide it in. Make sure it doesn't twist like that. So once I line up the pin, or once I line up the ball end of the cable, I'm holding it with one finger, lifting the cable with another. I know you can't see. I honestly can't see either once I get my hands here, but basically you want to hold this in and then lift this up and it'll slide right into its slot and should lock in properly. Now you can pull the white piece out until you can lock it in with the lock here. Once that's done, you should be able to do the same to the top one. And this is going to be even more challenging because you can't turn the handle anymore. So you have to do it in whatever position it wants to be in. Okay, I got it. So basically, I put the ball end in and then I grabbed the cable with my other finger. And as I'm holding this up, I pulled it over and pressed it up into place. So now both cables are attached. This one needs to still lock in. Don't forget about that. Okay, now it's locked in. So now, slide this handle in like that, line it up, and let's put the two rivets back in. Now you will need a rivet gun with the proper sized rivets, and we're gonna have to rivet this door handle in place. So slide this in, and pump it until it locks right in. And there you have it. Door handle is replaced. Let's test it out. Okay, perfect. Both latches lock in. The door doesn't move when it's latched, and it opens perfectly. Now let's put the inner panel back on. When it comes to putting this panel back on, you have to do multiple things at once, because not only do you have a bunch of push clips on the back side, these white ones that need to line up, but then the seat belt also needs to go in, and then there's supposed to be a pin right here where the speaker grill is. This one's broken, but there's supposed to be a pin that lines up with that hole to line everything up. So you just need to pay attention to all of that, because if these don't line up and you just smash them in there, well, they're just going to bend and the door panel is not going to be secured properly. So let's put the seat belt through. Okay, and make sure it pulls through enough, as well as the latch part, just like this. And slide that down, leave that hanging over there, and now you just want to start lining up all these push clips with all of their mounting holes. And also, you need to line up the belt latch at the bottom for the rear seat belt. All right, so the door panel is somewhat lined up. Start pushing the push clips in. Okay, now let's resecure the seat belt on here. Put the mounting nut on, hold this in position, and tighten it up. Make sure it's nice and snug. This should have thread locker already on it, so no need to reapply. And put this cap on at the bottom here. Let's reattach the seat belt through this bolt. Bottom that out completely, make it nice and tight. It will not completely tighten this part of the belt. This needs to pivot. Once it's done, put this cover on so that you hide the bolt, and there you have it.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.